Welcome to day 4 of the Creative Business Owner Basics workshop. Today we're going to talk about probably one of my most favorite things to talk about, and I would say probably the thing that has produced the most results in how I show up in my business and how I show up in my creative business. So we're going to be talking about, I call it my AM routine. And you might call it your morning routine, things like that. So before I kind of get started, just a few things. I want you to turn off any distractions. I want you to turn off any distractions that you have, anything that, your phone, anything that's going to distract you, because I want you to spend this time and get the most out of this next 30 to 40 minutes. Because like I said, I really believe that this practice that I've been doing for now, I think it's been like 22 years that I've been pretty consistent about this. This is what has really helped me in my business. The most. I will say the most. So turn off your distractions, turn on your focus, like just kind of put your blinders on and be very focused. And then, oh, hey there, Loretta. Oh, she's getting close to her home in Florida. That's awesome. And then I want you to get out a notebook, because I am going to have you write something down. I'm going to tell you about the challenge today. And there are a couple of different things that I'm going to have you do during the challenge. I'm going to share a couple of books with you today that I use during my AM routine. And I just want you to stay focused for this time, because you've shown up and you're committing this time to you to learn some things about your business. So tell me in the comments there if you have showed up for day 1, which was about community, and we talked about making personal connections. Day 2 was about rest, and we talked about the things that you do. We had a list of 5 things that you do to produce rest, to feel rested. And then yesterday, day 3 was all about energy. So energy, and I kind of called you out on a few limiting beliefs, right? Called you out on your BS. So tell me in the comments if you have watched day 1, day 2, day 3, if this is your very first time showing up. You heard about it from somebody else, so this is your first day. You can still go back and watch the replays here on this page on Creations of Studio 39. I remember to put up my little, it's over here on there. I remember to put my logo on there today. You can watch them on here. I have not put them into a playlist yet. I'll do that after all 6 are over. So you do kind of have to scroll through or click the video tab, I think. You can also go over and see them inside of the CBOB group, which is my Creative Business Owner Basics group. And if you are not in CBOB, go ahead and just comment CBOB, whether you're watching live or the replay there, and I will make sure that I get you the link to get into that group, because that's kind of where we're sharing everything. That's where we're doing the challenges. That's where we are. There were a lot of people that did the challenge yesterday, and I haven't even gotten a chance to go through and see all of those because I was on a Zoom right before this. I did pick some winners, though. I did pick 3 winners from yesterday to be able to do that. So the replays are available here. They're available inside CBOB. And you may not know this, but I do have a YouTube channel, and I have been broadcasting these videos over there too. And they will also be in a playlist over there. So you can watch the videos, whichever place makes the most sense for you, and it's the easiest for you to get to. So I want to go ahead and tell you the 3 winners. So the challenge that I had people who decided to take the challenge yesterday was about energy, because I was talking about the energy that you need to show up on a Facebook Live. And I told a story about why I will always show up on a Facebook Live, even if that only means that I'm going to impact one person. Because that one person that I told the story about yesterday was my mom. And I know Tony is on here and she could be my one person because I know recently she told me about live videos that I was doing that really helped her through a rough time over the summer period. And there have been other people that have said similar things about when I've gone live. And I just was able to make a connection. I don't know if she's on here yet. I was able to make a connection in Texas last week with someone early on that when I was doing my live videos, and I sent her Happy Meal. And her daughter, so not only did it impact her, but her daughter, she told me live in person last week that her daughter has taken up drawing because of that Happy Meal that I sent. So that just like completely touched my heart that a live video that I did 2+ years ago probably made that much of an impact. So, hey, I see. Oh, great, Tony, big impact. That's awesome. I see Ina showing up. I see some people saying all 4, or this is day 4 live. Yes. And I don't know who that one is. So, oh, I see Jenny showing up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, here are the 3 people, and I just chose these at random. There is no way that I could go back in, and I'm not judging the live videos like that, like how you showed up and how much energy you had. They were all awesome, and I actually can't wait to just like go sit outside and watch the rest of them. There were, I think at last count, 27 people that went live. So 27 people. I think last time I did this event, there were only about 12 that went live, 12 or 16. It was less than 27 for sure. So I just picked 3 random people, and what I'm going to give to them is the list of the 30 posts that I created for September. And I know that it's the middle of September, but you can still be able to use these posts. And these are posts, I call them engagement posts, that you can use on your page, and you can use them to post and actually get to know your followers. The post that I made today was about, it says, it's a sentence where you fill in the blank. And I think it just says art is, or I love art because, or something like that. And the answers have been so awesome. I've loved connecting with my followers and learning about them and learning why art is important to them. So these aren't just engagement posts to be able to just make people answer your posts. Like, that's not what it's about. Like, they're really helping me to get to know my followers better. So I see a lot of my members from my membership for the Engagement Made Easy. So if you are a member, could you just comment EME member, put EME member. And if you want more information about that membership, which I will open up probably in the next week or so, then just comment EME. If you want more info about that Engagement Made Easy and those posts. Just last night, we had a Zoom with the members of that group where I answer their questions. I give them like the latest engagement ideas and tips and tricks and things like that that I know, and we do that once a month. So that membership I will open up in the next week. And you can comment EME if you want more info for that. So 3 winners. I have 3 winners that are going to get a package of those 30 posts, and you'll be able to use them in September. And when you get them, you can ask me questions. I'm not giving entrance into the membership. It's the 30 posts that I did for September. But here are the 3 people, and you can congratulate them in the comments there. I think most of these people are online that I've seen their names. So the first person that I'm picking actually ends up being the person that I talked about before, where her daughter is now drawing because of the Happy Meal, and that is Lainey Vargas. So you can tell Lainey congratulations in there. And the second person that I have is, I think that I saw her name too, is Jenny Mason. So you can congratulate Jenny Mason. And then the third person I actually got a chance to meet last week in Texas. And I think I've connected with her for quite a while, but had never met her in person. And I just sat right beside her. And it's just one of those moments while I was in Texas that I'm always going to remember. But that is Debbie Severson. So those three people, I'm going to be sending an email. So I will need your email address. Jenny, I'm not sure that I have yours. I don't think that I have Lainey's. Yeah, Gina, I don't know if you tagged Lainey in there. And then Debbie Severson, I might have her. So I will need for all three of you to send me your email address so that I can send that link of those posts to you. And I know I saw a lot of people, like I said, my members are here, and they have been telling me how awesome these posts are for really helping them to get engagement in their business pages, in their groups, wherever they use those. So yes, congratulations to all of them. So I want to go ahead and ask you a question before I start talking to you about the morning routine, and then I'm going to take a drink here. So I want to know if you have a morning routine, and let me qualify that just a second. Do you have a morning routine that serves you? Do you have a morning routine that actually serves you to give you energy, to start your day well, that fuels you, that energizes you? That do you have a morning routine that serves you? So I want you to go ahead and put in the comments there. Oh, good. Oh, good. I see like Tony saying that lots of engagement. Loretta's saying that they really help. So awesome. Awesome. So let me go ahead and take a drink. So go ahead and tell me, Loretta says when I do it. You can be honest and tell me if your morning routine consists of coffee. Like that's your morning routine. Or does your morning routine consist of like hitting the snooze button? So you can be honest, because I'm going to share with you today a very simple morning routine that you can use, that you can actually do fairly quickly. And I'm going to show you an easy way to remember it. And the challenge that I'm going to ask you to do, because today's prize is actually this is one of the best prizes all week, honestly. So I'm going to ask you to do a challenge that is going to relate to the prize that I'm going to give to you. So snooze button and 2 cups of coffee. There we go, Deb. I'm not sure that actually serves you though. So, Ina says she feeds 4 fur babies. Oh my gosh. Tony says she does have a cup of coffee and devotion and prayer time. So I love that. Oh, Jenny, I think that you mentioned about that you read with your daughter and then write in the scripture. Awesome. Awesome. So she thinks that she needs to expand it to include her business. I love how you're thinking there. So yeah, Loretta, I don't hit snooze either. Like I don't set an alarm. So it would be hard for me to hit snooze, I guess. So, oh, good. Angel, I'm gonna give you a morning routine. So before I give you, make sure you have something to write this down. I don't even have it written out or anything. So make sure you have a paper and some pen to write it down. But I want to ask you another question, because this is something that started happening when I started a consistent morning routine. And the question that I have for you is, have you ever had anything happen that feels very much like a coincidence? Like you can't explain it, you don't exactly know, and you can't even connect the dots and how it happened. It just kind of seemed like it was this coincidence that happened for you. for your good. I guess you could say, like, it was just this coincidence that happened that you can't explain. That is really what started happening when I started a morning routine. Loretta, I don't know déjà vu. Déjà vu, I kind of think of when something happens that you feel like has already happened before. Coincidence for me, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples, is a little bit more like just these unexplainable things that happen that like make you smile and you can't explain them. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. This first story, I think that I told back in the workshop back in March. Cheryl, I like that synchronicity. That might actually be. Oh, Cheryl, I definitely like the God Winks, and there is a book that I read that's called God Winks. I don't remember the author of that one. So the story that I want to tell you about, and I shared a little bit last year, and then I have a couple of other ones this year, is a time back when I really first started this morning routine. And tell me if you've ever had a time in your life when you're just like, Beth Moore wrote a book about being in the pit, right? Like you just feel like you're like in a pit, like everything just feel like all of your circumstances, right? All of your circumstances that are happening just feel like one thing after another. You know, you've got the washing machine that overflows. You've got the dog, like I talked about, like made a mess while I was on my live video that I almost stepped in. You know, you've got all of these different circumstances. Your car breaks down, like all of these things, and you can't, control those. Like they just are things that happen. Well, in 2002, I was at a point in my life where I felt like that. Like there was a lot of different things going on and a lot of transition, a lot of changes, just a lot of that. And there was a lot of things that I had to go to, things that I had to do that I really was not prepared for. Like but I had to do them. And what happened during that time was I got a hold of a couple, I guess what I would call like devotionals. They were daily readings. So the daily readings I started doing, and I would like wake up at 5:30 before, leaving enough time before I had to leave to go to school. I was teaching at the time. And one day I kind of like was in my head because I hadn't thought of a project for my advanced ceramic students to do. And I just kind of had that in the back of my head, and I was worrying about that and worrying about all these events and, just circumstances and all of that kind of thing. But I made time for that morning routine, right? You have to make the time for the things that have value that you see as valuable. So I had already known that this little part of that day, that section of time that I devoted to my morning routine was important. Like I knew that there was value in it. So I was sitting there and I was reading this little daily journal, and I was kind of thinking about that project and the little story that kind of went along with the I probably have this in a journal somewhere. So the little story that went along with it was something about like puzzling or puzzles or something like that. And as a creative, that moment when you have different things kind of coming together is that aha moment, right? And I had this aha moment. I was like, oh, I could do a project with my advanced ceramic students that had to do with puzzles. I was trying to think of like, how could I do that? And how could I, granted, my advanced ceramics class was like the very first class of that day. Like I hadn't come up with the idea. And I was kind of thinking through it. And you guys, I want to tell you that I was sitting there, it was kind of dark. And when I walked into the room, I was kind of still waking up. And I looked down, and do you know that on the floor, there were all of these puzzle pieces. There were all of these puzzle pieces, and I thought, those were not there. They were not there before when I walked into the room. They could have been, but I didn't see them, right? We talked about where you're focusing, where your focus goes, your your energy flows. Is that how I said it the other day? You probably wrote it down. So I just wasn't focused on them before. They were probably there, but I saw all of these puzzle pieces and I thought, that's what I could do. Do you know those puzzle pieces were little pieces of paper? And I gathered up those puzzle pieces and I took them into my class that day. And I gave each one of my students a puzzle piece. And I said, here, you've got to create a project with this puzzle piece. And those projects turned out to be some of the best projects that my students had done. So that was just one part of a coincidence story that I had happen that I cannot explain other than I remember my boys playing with those puzzle pieces, but I didn't see them on the floor at the time that I walked into that room. But I really feel like this morning routine of doing some things that serve you was what really has helped me in a lot of different ways have those kinds of things happen. Now, you do have to notice them. You do have to have your focus on, right? And you have to be open to receiving those. I'll have to share a penny story. Maybe I'll do that one today too. So I have all kinds of those stories because, like I said, it's been like 22 years, and I've just had all kinds of those things happen. So let me go ahead and tell you. I want you to go ahead and write this down. This is a way for you to remember the parts of a morning routine that you can do that will help to serve you. So let me know in the comments when you got your pen and your paper ready and you're ready to write this down. And I'm going to tell you that this is from a book. This is not my idea. It is not my acronym. I'm going to give you an acronym to help remember it. It is from a book that I was introduced to probably back in 2016, and I have it on Audible or on Kindle or something. So I don't have the physical book, but you can write this down. It is Miracle Morning. And if you search the hashtag Miracle Morning, you will see people posting about this all the time still. Like I don't know when this book was written, but still. So, oh good. Cheryl says that she's ready, and I see like some other people commenting in there. The book is written by Hal, Hal Elrod, Elrod. So it's called Miracle Morning. And he talks through this process, and I'm just going to give you one part of it, which is this acronym that I'm going to give to you. So I want you to write this down, and I'm going to take another drink. Several people ask me about this drink. This kind of ties into the energy drink or the energy day yesterday. It's just kind of like my all natural energy drink. And I've switched over to this pink one, which is strawberry lemonade. I think I'm going to go back to lemon. I think I like the lemon one better. Kind of wakes me up more. This is a little bit sweeter or something. I don't know. So anyway, this is the word that I want you to write down. And I just want you to write it, the letters going down, and then leave space. Leave a couple of lines or something in between them so you can write some notes in there. The first one, well, the word, go ahead and write, I want you to write the word, leave some space. The word that I want you to write down, the acronym is SAVERS. S is in Sam, A is in Apple, V is in Victor, E is in Echo. I think that's the right word. R is in Richard, S is in Sam. So SAVERS. So go ahead and write that going down. Leave a little bit of space in there. And if somebody wants to type that in the comments so that I can make sure that we have that right there. So it's SAVERS. And this is an acronym to remember. Oh, there's several. Oh, I don't know. Maybe there's like multiple editions, Miracle Mornings for business owners. Like, I don't know. I didn't realize there were multiple different ones. So, okay. So Cheryl wrote the word SAVERS. So go ahead and, yes, SAVERS, going down and just save a little bit of space. And I'm going to explain what each one of these are. And maybe I'll tell you another one of my little stories. I have so many of these. A lot of them in honestly, it was the first year of my faith journey, and that was when a lot of them happened. So I have a lot from that first year in 2002. So savers, the S starts for silence. There are a lot of things that come at you during the day. You have the control of how you start them. And you should really start in some silence. Now, that could mean a prayer. That could mean just a few moments that you take. I started doing a Mel Robbins high five technique, and that's just a simple little thing that is kind of like a just a quiet time to yourself where you're giving yourself a high five in the mirror. So start your day with some silence in whatever way works for you. The second word I talked about the other day a little bit, affirmations. So start your day with something positive before you start looking at social media, news, whatever it might be that's positive. And I write these down. And I do 3 every day. So I write down 3 different affirmations. And so they'll change. It could be those cards that I showed the other day. I believe that was on day 2 for rest, if you didn't see that one. And and if somebody wants to be typing these words in the chat there. So silence is the first one, and then affirmations. Affirmations can be just like I am kind of affirmations. They can be very, they're just like affirming statements of who you want to be, who you are striving to be, who you know yourself to be. They're just affirmations of you bringing some positive things to believe in your mind. And I'm telling you, tomorrow we're going to talk about thoughts, and it's going to like supercharge everything here that I'm talking about with the morning routine. So we have silence for the S, A for affirmations. Yes, Jenny, 3 is like my, obviously one of my favorite numbers because my business name has the 3 and the 9 in it. So the V is for visualization, or I like to even think of my vision board. I think I had it sitting over here. My vision board, or how I visualize, is, visualizing even how you want to show up in the day. Visualizing, there have been studies where it's very powerful with athletes picturing themselves, visualizing themselves crossing the line of a race, winning the competition, and they visualize how that looks. They put themselves in that place. Do you know your brain really doesn't know the difference between you visualizing it and it actually happening? The same with when I asked you to go live yesterday, your brain really doesn't know the difference between fear, anxiety, and excitement. It's really a very similar response that your body has, your nervous system has, for both of those things. So visualization is the third one. So thank you, Ina. So yes, Michael Phillips is, I've read about some of the different things with him, and it's amazing. So yes, Tony, I actually do a vision board workshop in January every year. So I definitely use especially the past few years, I've been doing that too. And I have kind of a different way of going through the vision board too. So the third one is visualization. And then the fourth one is exercise. So some kind of exercise to create energy. This can be something quick. Tell me in the comments if you did some kind of exercise today. I actually did a 30-minute workout, and I lifted weights, and I felt strong. You can go look at my stories. I put a picture in there. Like I felt really strong today. I lifted heavy. So, um, yes, Tony, it is online. Yeah, the vision board workshop that I do in January is online. Yeah, I think I last year did 3 days. So it's like a 3-day like workshop. So some kind of exercise. So you can tell me in the comments if you did any kind of exercise. It can be a walk. That's fine. It can be some push-ups. It can be, like whatever kind of, working out. It can be yoga. That's still some way of like moving your body. Okay. So that's the fourth one. And then R is to read personal development. I've shown you a lot of books this week. Over in that CBOB group, I've been going through books for the past couple of months, recommending books and sharing those. And I'm going to make a list of all the different books that I've been recommending this week and put that over into the group. But the personal development is different than just a fiction book. So some kind of personal development that will help you to grow. So we're actually starting this weekend, little side note, with my church, we're starting like a 6-week series that's all about grow. I'm so excited. I hope they tell me like a lot of new books. So I don't know. And we're actually hosting the group. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have people over here at our house on Sunday night to start this journey. We've got a little book, and I love like a new little journal book guide kind of thing. So really excited about that. So some kind of personal development book, or not even a book, like it could be listening to some personal development. I actually have an awesome app that I talk about inside the course that I've mentioned that I will be opening up on Monday. And that app is one of the things that has really been my my quick fix little personal development. I do still read my books, listen to my book, listen to podcasts, whatever. Tell me in the comments if you want to put different podcasts that you listen to. I'm always kind of like looking for new, different ones. And, when I take a walk or something, I'll listen to the podcast. So put in the comments if you have a favorite podcast that you listen to and, like why it is that you like that podcast. If you have any books that you want to tell me about, that I love some personal development books. I've got 2 already that I've got to catch up. Got to read these. So R is read personal development. Thank you, Jenny. And then S, I had to make it an S at the end for the savers, but it is scribe, which is just like to journal. And there is, if you are familiar with Julia Cameron, she wrote a book called The Artist's Way, and she recommends doing 3 pages, no spaces, 3-line pages per day. She calls them morning pages to write. And that's more than I do. But I did try that for a little while. But some kind of journaling. And that could really be in your quiet time, right? And you could, kind of put those 2 together a little bit. But here is the question that I have for you. And I don't know who this is, would not be interested in any podcasts that you listen to. That's funny. I want to ask you how long you think those 6 things would take you. How long in your morning do you think that those 6 things of silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and journaling, scribing would take you in the morning? Tell me in the comments, how long do you think that would take you? Tony says not long. What's not long to you? What is not long? Can you give me like a certain amount of time? I work from home here full time myself. My idea of not long is probably completely different than somebody else's. So Loretta says 30 to 60, 90 minutes, 30 to 60. Cheryl says 90 minutes, 30 minutes. Oh, hi, Diane. I thought I saw your name pop on there. Oh, here's a good one. Jenny says, I think it could be different for each person and each day. Here's the thing about a morning routine. It's exactly that, because my morning routine does vary. I try to do those 6 things. It might look different every day. I might actually do that later in the day. I might not get my reading in early, so I get it in a little bit later. But I want to tell you that you could do this morning routine in probably like 5 minutes. Do you think that you could do that just like in 5 minutes? You could very quickly say a prayer. You could have an affirmation card that you pick, like those ones I showed the other day. You could have your vision board right there and you could look at it. You could be visualizing like while you're getting a shower, getting ready, all that kind of thing. You could do like 10 jumping jacks just to, that would only take you a minute or two. You could read something that's very quick that would be for personal development, or listen to it like on your way to work or something if you work outside the home. And then you could just write down even just one thing that you're grateful for each day. You could really get that done in a few minutes if you only had a short amount of time. I know that there are probably people who have to get kids or grandkids or different things like that, and then you don't have as much time in the morning. So Cheryl says, do I keep track of it in a journal, or is it just a reminder posted somewhere? So hold on to that thought there, Cheryl, and I will answer that here when I give you your challenge. So those 6 things you could do pretty quickly. And it does depend on you, how much time you have, like what you have going on that day. But I will tell you, if you are consistent about doing as many of those things as you can in the morning, it does become quicker, and you can kind of flow through that, and you can figure out like what that schedule looks like. And and Tony says, if I skip a day, it sets up so that it's chaotic. I love that word chaotic because that's so descriptive. It's such like a powerful word. And it really does. If I am starting to feel like anxious, unsettled, I don't stressed. I don't know that there are things that, anyway, coincident or circumstances that, can cause me stress, but I don't know that I carry a lot of stress. Here's a funny little story. One time I went to go get a massage, and she asked me if I wanted like a deep massage. And I was like, no, I really don't think that I need that. She just gave me like a regular massage, and I was sore. I was sore after that because I really just don't carry a lot of stress in my body anyway. So Arlene says you can get in squats while you sweep the floor. I love it. Yeah, it is not really that hard. But here's what I want you to think about. You may think that you don't have enough time. You may think that, well, I'd really like to have an hour to be able to do this, but I just don't have that. Here's what I will say, that one simple habit that you do can change your whole day. Even if the only thing that you do is the squats while you're sweeping the floors, even if the only thing that you do is say one affirmation, even if the only thing that you do, hiccup there, is give yourself a high five in the mirror, even if only one of those things happens, that one simple, consistent habit is what I really feel like if you can notice, if you can remember, if you can just focus on the value that produces, right? Here, I want you to write this down because this was just a few words that I put together, and I think that this is a great way to remember this. Your effort produces the evidence for confidence to show up. Tell me in the comments there if you have ever not had confidence. Like there's been a time where you have not been confident about something. but you had to go ahead and do it anyway. You knew that you had to go ahead and do it anyway. You've got an event scheduled and you're not very confident because it's a little bit different than maybe anything you've done before. You go to a new place and you're not confident about, you know, the situation, the people that you're with, and how you're just in your head about all of the things going on. Jenny says that Jenny, you went live in the group. It's not any different. But confidence is something that you can cultivate, right? I love like alliteration and acronyms and things like that. So you can cultivate confidence. And so your effort produces the evidence for confidence to show up. So let me explain that a little bit. And this is something that I've suggested to different people because it was something that was suggested to me in that 2002, kind of year that I was talking to you about. When you put forth effort, and I see that as even focusing on, like where you want to go, your vision board, you're putting effort towards your dreams, you're, figuring things out. When you put the effort into that, you're going to have things happen. You're going to have those coincidence things happen, and you're going to notice them, and you're going to have your eyes open to noticing them. And do you know what you need to do when you have those things happen? You need to start what I've told people, an evidence journal. So I had somebody tell me a long time ago, back in 2002, it was my friend's husband. I got a chance to go visit them. I actually just saw them this summer, which was awesome to be able to see them again. They came in and visited here. I was telling them all these coincidence stories. I was telling them, like, this has happened. I can't explain it. And this has happened. And, all this stuff. And he said, write those things down. And what he was telling me was to write the evidence down that these coincidence things were happening. Right? Oh, Jenny, I'm seeing people congratulate you. And let me pull this up here. So gave you the confidence to go live on your business page shortly after. I got to go look. Was that your very first one? Like your very first one on your business page where you went live? I have to go look. So that's awesome. Oh, thank you for typing that out too. I see where your effort produces the evidence for confidence to show up. Yeah. I love little phrases like that I can like remember and think about. So I lost my train of thought there because I was so excited for you there, Jenny. So I really did like forget where I was. Oh, about writing down. So Tony says that she wishes that she would have written all of those things down. So here's what happens, because you're going to get to those points where you feel like you don't have confidence, but you're going to have this evidence journal and you're going to have all of these things that you did even when you weren't confident. And now you have the evidence to show up that you didn't die. Like you did those things and you didn't die. And if you impact somebody because of what it was that you did, you were generous with somebody, you helped somebody, you encourage somebody, and you like step out of your comfort zone to do that because you're not really feeling confident. All of those things are evidence that you had the confidence. Here I'm thinking of the Wizard of Oz, like you've had it in you all along, right? Because she had the ruby red slippers, right? You have that confidence. You have had it before, and you can keep this evidence journal, and you can have that to be able to draw on. I'm going like way over because, like I said, I could talk about morning routine and the value of it. And that's really just what I wanted to say is once you see the value of what a morning routine can do, Tony, it sounds like has a really good one going. And you almost start to crave it. Like you make time for it. You make time for that morning routine. So I don't have this other book, but I am going to show you a couple of other books. I'm going to tell you about the challenge and then tell you the prize. But I have it up here on my bookshelf. It's kind of like behind there. But here's another book that kind of ties in with the morning routine or the morning miracle book, Miracle Morning book. It's called High Performing Habits, HPH, because I remember acronyms. High Performing Habits. And it is by Brendon Burchard, Burchard. So he's an awesome speaker. I follow a lot of things that he does. But High Performing Habits has a lot of things in there that tie into these morning routines and why you do them and the value of having these practices that you do. So I have it on my other page here so I would not forget the notes. I'm going to tell you a couple of books and I'm going to tell you what the prize is. And then I'm going to tell you the challenge that I want you to do. So Trudy, she says that not having any routine adds to stress. It does. Because here's what happens. If you have a lot of things, you have a lot of circumstances that are causing you stress, it feels like you don't have any control, right? So when you take control of your morning, you take control of your day. Take control of, even if it's just 10 minutes, even if it's just 5 minutes, take control of your morning and you will, and honestly, you will get things done more efficiently and in quicker time and less time during the day when you take control of your morning. And you show up as a better person, show up as a better mom and a better daughter and a better spouse, and just you show up as a better person. So let me tell you about a couple of books, and then I'm going to show you the one or the prize that I'm going to do for the challenge today that I'm going to give to you. So here is one of them that I think that this is the second or third time that I've gotten this one. And it is called Start Where You Are, a journal for self-exploration. And this is just kind of a fun one. I'm trying to think. The person's name is Meera Lee Patel. But if you go and search that on Amazon, you should be able to find that. I'm going to put a link to all of the books, like I said, that I've been talking about this week. But this one, I just want to show you one of the pages in here. Well, I'll probably show you a couple. Like, look, they're just all these beautiful, like, watercolor pages. And there's an exercise right over here. I don't know how many there are. There's a good number of exercises in there. So it's called Start Where You Are. And that could be one of the things that you do in the morning that would be, like the journaling and, something like that to kind of add to your morning routine. This is another one that I have not started yet, but it came highly recommended by several different people. I like ones that are dated and are not dated, but they're numbered. And it gives me like a goal. So coming up next week, I think it's actually a week from today, is the countdown to the last 100 days of the year. And I usually do a focus on those last 100 days. So I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to be doing, but this book is called The 100 Days of Prayer. So it's a devotional journal, and it is not dated, but it is numbered. And then it has the little reading. So then you've got your reading in there, right? You've got your quiet time because there's scriptures right there. You've got your journaling. So right there, you've got like 3 of your savers, right? You've got several of those. So those are 2 of the books. The other book that I want to tell you about is a book that I have used, and I don't think I have the date in here. I have used this book for several years, and it has been the one that I've used to count down the year. And if several of you have been with me for a while, you have probably gone through this book with me. One year, I even took it with me to Dollywood and read it live. And it's just been one that I've really, really liked. And this book is what I'm going to give as a prize to 4 people. So 4 people who complete the challenge, I'm going to choose from the people, and I'm going to send this to 4 people. So this book is called 100 Days to Brave. It's by Annie F. Downs. Annie F. Downs. The reason that I like this one, Jenny says, what a fabulous prize. The reason that I like this one is because Annie, not that I know Annie, but I like to call her by her first name. Annie is just the quirkiest, fun person you will ever want to meet. I've listened to her podcast. I've watched different things. I have 2 more of her books over here. She is just a fun, spunky person. And I love her voice. And I would want to be in a room with Annie because I think that she would just be so fun. And one of the things that I like about this one is she makes it very personal. There's a lot of personal stories, but each one is only like 2 pages. And I mean, she has a scripture in there, so it's kind of going along with your quiet time in the morning. She also has a challenge each day in there. So I really love that she gives you something to apply what you've learned, right? You really don't learn something until you apply it, right? You're not going to remember it until you apply it and like take action. So I love that she puts in there to take action. So is anybody going to take the challenge before I even tell you what it is because you want that book? Tell me if you're going to take the challenge for day 4 about the AM routine, because maybe you want that book. So, oh, I see Pam popping on. Oh, awesome. Oh, good, Cheryl. Jenny says that she's in. So Cheryl says yes. Awesome. Tony's in. Ina says yes to the challenge. Okay. What if it's going live? Well, you guys all went live yesterday. So even if that was the challenge, right? So, oh, that's okay, Loretta. I'm glad that you got there safe. So first thing I'd like for you to do is put the takeaway in this video. Put your takeaway of what you went away with today and something that just kind of stuck out to you today. So go ahead and put the takeaway, and you can put like takeaway and Luann says she just got brave enough yesterday. Oh, Edith says it's a great book. Yeah. So go ahead and put the takeaway in this group. So you can put takeaway and then write that in there. You're going to use the hashtag today, and somebody can put this in the chat. Hashtag CBOB, like we've been doing, 4922. It's the 4th day, and it's 922 for the month. The challenge that I'd like for you to do is I want you to take a photo of yourself with a little piece of paper. You can put it on a sticky note. Like you could just do it on, like I have these little sticky notes. And I want you to write on there. I'll do it on this so you can see it. I want you to write, I commit to my savers. So just on a piece of paper, put I commit to my savers. And then I want you to take a picture of you with that. You can set up a timer. You can do a selfie. You can flip the screen around if you need to make the letters show up right. I just figured out how to do that on my phone not too long ago. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I could flip it around so I could see the letters. But what I'd like for you to do is post this on your personal profile. So I want you to take a picture, and I just want you to put I commit to my savers in the post. You can explain more if you want to. You can put a takeaway. You can do, put more in there, but just I commit to my savers. And I'd like for you to post that on your personal page with the hashtag. So I'm going to be searching in Facebook, all of Facebook, for that hashtag. And I want you to come back to the group, to the CBOB group, and just comment that you did the challenge. You did the challenge for day 4. So I know that that's a lot of different things on there that I'm asking you to do for the challenge. Go ahead and put your takeaway. Take a picture with that written on there for your I commit to my savers. And you could even list like what they are on your post if you wanted to. And if somebody asks you about it, tell them about these videos. Tell them to come back to this video and then they can find out what savers are. Don't tell them everything. Like, tell them to come back to the video so that they can watch and they can understand what savers stands for. So I'd like for you to take that picture, post it on your personal profile with that hashtag, but then come back to the CBOB group to be able to just comment that you did the challenge. And you can go ahead and put the hashtag over there too. It's kind of fun to see in the group like how many people have completed it with the hashtag. So comment with the hashtag in the group and just put I did the challenge, or it's done, just giving me confirmation that it was done. So I'm going to pick 4 people that do all of those steps, takeaway, picture with the hashtag, and in the group. And if you would like to go and encourage people out on Facebook or in the group, you can comment and connect with people. I think yesterday, the thing that I loved the most was everybody was commenting on the favorite candy. And I think we have a Reese Cup little group of people that would like to get together because they all love Reese Cups. Like, there was a big group of Reese Cup people, right? But that's what I'd like for you to do for the challenge, is to really think about your morning routine. Write it out. Write out how long it would take you to do each thing, like from the time that you wake up, like what's your morning routine and how are you going to do those 6 different things and fit that in there. And they don't need to be like in that order, of the savers. You might figure out to do your journaling, your scribing before you do anything else. It doesn't necessarily have to be in that particular order, right? So I'd like for you to go ahead and do that. And I will be back tomorrow at 3:30 for day 5, which will be about thoughts. I have learned so much on this subject, even from 6 months ago when I did this workshop. I'm just going to try to share as much as I possibly can with you tomorrow. I know today went much longer, but I want you to remember as I leave you today, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow, that today is a great day to create a day that you love. So it's only 4:30 here in Ohio. You still have plenty of time. Go out today and create a great day. And I will see you back tomorrow at 3:30 to talk about thoughts.